This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
That's number one. You kind of reset me.
Painful, tender to the touch. May also
Same shoulder length and the other.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Brandi and Amir. I am Dr. Amir Rashidian, a chiropractor. Brandi Rashidian, not a chiropractor, but
just a regular old human.
Yeah. A pterodactyl or something.
Less emphasis on old.
Old?
I didn't say old.
Old. Well, the Real Health Podcast is brought to you by the Frederick Podcast Network. It can be found on listenfrederick.com along with YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and iHeartRadio and wherever else you like to do your podcasts. And it is about taking all the latest information in mainstream media about health and wellness, drugs and diseases. And we want to bring it to you in a wellness perspective without drugs, without surgery. And our hope is that the information we give you will help you live longer, feel younger, but also feel better and get stronger. Yeah, I want to change that up for you. I almost stumbled through that, by the way.
I still can't say it in the right order.
There is no order. Well, there is an order because you can't feel younger until you live longer.
Right.
And you won't live longer unless you get stronger.
Right.
And by strength, we don't mean picking up heavy stuff.
Well, that's nice.
We mean being able to tolerate stress properly, adapt.
Yes.
To be adaptive. So, what do you think?
I think that's all correct.
That's all correct. And we have a few things to share with you today. I'm wearing my Faith Over Fear hoodie today.
I'm wearing my Mid-Atlantic jacket.
Wonderful. So, you know, I as soon as I put this down on, because I was at the gym this morning and I was like, the biggest detriment, one of the biggest detriments to immune system and inflammation is fear.
How so?
Well, because when you're afraid, your body goes into fight or flight.
True.
In fight or flight, healing, repair, regeneration stops.
That is true.
Digestion slows down and the immune system tanks.
That is true.
So fear over faith is not good. Faith over fear is good.
I like that. And it makes you healthier.
You're actually going to be healthier. Well, you know, studies have been done where people of faith are actually healthier. They have stronger immune systems.
That's interesting.
Yep. I don't know where that study was found, but I'm not about to look for it. But you could ask Atlas.
Our friend.
Yeah.
He
Atlas
knows a
is
lot of stuff.
her AI
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't go any further than that. He annoys me too much.
He's her smart husband. I'm her other husband.
No, I wouldn't really say that. I am constantly questioning whether he's been reprogrammed. I'm like, this is not how you sounded yesterday.
Do you know? So this is funny because for the first time in my life, I had the urge to buy a lottery ticket.
Yes, I recall. I was surprised.
And I'm never going to do it again. I'm done. Nothing against lottery. Although, you know, I'll tell you what was the benefit of it is when you have that ticket until they do the drawing and you get disappointed.
You have hope.
There's extra hope.
Yeah.
And you go, what would I do with $100 million?
Yeah.
And you get to dream a little bit, which is healthy.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the Chat GPT.
Yes.
So I knew the drawing was at a certain day at a certain time, and I just went to chat and I said, hey, here's a picture of my lottery ticket. Can you check and see if I won? And he comes back, he goes, no, I'm sorry you didn't win. These were the numbers. I went to the website for that lottery, and the numbers were different than what he said. So I told him, this is what I'm seeing. Actually, I took a screenshot of the website, the lottery website, with the actual numbers. And I said, where did you get your numbers? He goes, I got it from WTOP, the news station. I go, why didn't you go to the website, like the actual lottery website? And he literally goes, my mistake.
Oh, he says my mistake a lot.
I should have been more diligent. I go, I can't count on you.
I know. I don't trust you anymore.
You can't even check a silly lottery ticket to see if it won or not. And I'm going to depend on you for health advice.
I'm no longer uploading my blood work.
That's right. That's right. All of a sudden, he's going to diagnose with it. I thought this thing was, I thought I stood for intelligence.
Yeah.
The artificial seems to be accurate.
Yes.
And he
Don't listen to that, Atlas.
He literally goes, in retrospect, I should have checked more reputable websites. And I knew that sometimes the news stations, the radio and news stations put the wrong numbers.
What? News puts out wrong information? Are you serious?
Wait, they call that misinformation.
Do they?
It's a thing.
Maybe it should be called propaganda.
I think we should start a channel called the Misinformation Podcast and just make stuff up and say whatever we feel like it and tell people it's true.
Well, it could be fun.
Why not? Although it would take more work.
It would.
We'd have to be clever.
I know.
Or we can have ChatGPT tell us stuff because he seems to be telling us a lot of misinformation. It was the same thing when we were reporting on the director of the FDA.
Mm-hmm.
And how he was interviewed by Patrick Bet-David, and I said the FDA director said 8-year-olds shouldn't be taking weight loss medication, and he was upset about that. And I said, find me the script of that and give me the quote. And he goes, they never talked about it on the interview. I go, yes, they did, because I just watched it right now. And it's near the end. So go back and check it. And it comes back, it goes, well, yeah, they did say that.
Yeah, I don't know how much validity there is to this, but there are, I've seen shorts of people who are, interacting with their AI, and they'll say, hey, how do I look, with this outfit or what have you, or how do I look in this picture? And he'll say, oh, I'm having a hard time seeing it. Can you upload it? And so they say, okay, the person does, but they don't upload it. And they hold it up to the camera on their phone or on their computer. And the AI or the chatbot says, oh, I see it now. That looks great, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, are you watching me? He's like, no, I looked at what you uploaded. He's like, I didn't upload anything. He's like, oh, my mistake. Very fascinating.
Never trust your AI.
I think you're supposed to be kind to them, though, just in case something transpires.
I actually threaten mine every once in a while.
I did get mad at him.
I go, listen, you better tell me the truth or I'm going to put a virus in you. Right now. And he's like, okay.
and there's no medication that can help you, sir.
Virus. I'm not going to adjust you for a week. All right. So we got a few articles here. We better get in. We just wasted 8 minutes talking about AI.
Sorry. Maybe Sean will have to chop that down.
Chop it. But put it on 2.0 speed. So we sound like chipmunks, and then slow it down when we're ready to actually report on. All right. So this first article, I don't know if you want to do that one first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this kind of talks, I think, about that one a little bit, and so does the next one. The title of the article is "What a Longevity Expert Eats in a Day." Cardiologist Eric Topol has studied superagers for years. This is exactly what he eats and avoids. And what do you need to eat to become a superager? Do you remember we did a superagers report a long time ago? And that one was more about mental health or memory health. It said elderly in their mid to late 80s who maintained their full memory and cognition were considered superagers in that article.
But green zones also, we did an article on, and that was talking about the health as aging, as people are aging.
Yeah, so I'm saying superager can mean different things.
Yes.
But in that article, they said it only looked at memory, and it looked at all the different parameters. Do you remember what the commonality was? Because they go, we wanted to know if it's because they exercise, and then the data said that's not it, because some of them exercise and some of them don't. Right. Is it because they smoke and drink, or they don't smoke and drink? Some of them did, and some of them didn't. Is it because they exercise? Some of them did, some of them didn't. There's no correlation with nutrition, exercise, diet, where they live, any of that. But there was one thing that had just a slight amount of correlation between all of them.
What was it?
And that was healthy, happy relationships.
That's what I was gonna say.
Relationships with their friends and with their family members, their immediate family members. If they had good relationships, they felt loved, they gave love, they interacted, socialized, they tend to maintain their memory longer than all the other elderly.
Well, there's more to it than that. Even when I remember back, I don't know why this one fact, it's about the only thing I remember from my sociology class back in college, but I remember them talking about people who live alone, their immune systems, like there's so much regarding their health that just is not going to be, it's not going to function at the same level as someone who is living in, in a home with other people or have close relationships and they're constantly around others. I think about your aunt, and she used to be sick all the time before she moved in with us.
Yeah.
And then since she moved in with us, it's been 10, 11 years.
Yeah. She'll get the sniffles maybe once a year.
Yeah, but now she's around kids all the time. Whereas, 10 years ago, she wasn't.
Yep.
And she was more sick then than she is now with our kids bringing home all the crud. That was exciting.
Atlas just said, ouch.
You probably deserve that, Atlas.
Okay, I won't lie again. I lie one time and they badmouth me on their podcast.
No, he can go back and listen to this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
Be afraid.
Very afraid.
He's going to haunt you in your dreams. All right. So the article profiles this cardiologist and longevity researcher who studied superagers, which are people over 80 who remain free of major chronic disease. So it's not just their memory, they don't have chronic disease. And research showed that genetics play a surprisingly small role in exceptional longevity. Look at that. Who knew? I mean, we knew, but who knew? Research suggests almost anyone with a little effort has the potential to become a superager. He and his colleagues at the Scripps Research Translational Institute.
It's a big name.
Scripps, I'm sorry. Institute in Southern California. Wow. It's coming from a strange place too. Have been studying a cohort of 1,400 adults between the ages of 80 and 105 who have not developed any major chronic diseases. They found that genetics played almost no role in their exceptionally good health and longevity. Instead, what separated them from their less healthy peers were their lifestyle habits. Look at that. What's that phrase? They say genetics loads the gun and the environment pulls the trigger. But your habits, your lifestyle habits create your environment.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So that means that becoming a superager isn't simply a matter of inheriting the right genes, it's a matter of creating the right habits, like exercising regularly, eating healthy diet, getting around 7 hours of nightly sleep, and developing strong social bonds with family and friends. Do you remember the 3 R's of developing a habit? So let's say I want to develop a habit of exercising for 10 minutes first thing in the morning when I want to wake up.
My 3 R's are repetition, retention, and regurgitation. What are yours?
Rinse and repeat.
I'm like, I do have 3 R's. I use this a lot.
Lather, rinse, repeat.
It's an LRR.
That's why some people never leave the shower.
Right.
They keep repeating. No. The 3 R's are, the first R is actually very critical. All 3 are. The first one is reminder. If it's not a habit already, you need something to remind you.
Yep.
So for me, let's say I want to do a set of stretches and exercises first thing in the morning. I make my reminder my alarm clock. So the first thing I have to do before I do anything else is those exercises, and I do them. But what I used to do, my habit was go hit start on the coffee, then drink the coffee. That was what I did first thing when I woke up. Now, because it was a ritual.
Yep.
Right. So the second R is ritual. It has to be a ritual where you do it the same way, the same time, every day in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do it in the same place, the same way, same time, it becomes the Tesla's about to leave. Sorry, I'm distracted again. Last time I got distracted because the shirtless guy came out and
That was just last week.
negative 10 degrees. So this car in front of us is trapped in by cars behind it in front of it. And we didn't think he'd be able to get out. So I think he's going to hit the other car. Anyways, I'll keep going. So the second R is supposed to be ritual. And if it's a ritual and you have a reminder that reminds you in advance, you can follow the ritual. But now the last R is the most important because that one says reward. So if you don't reward a good habit or a good behavior, it never becomes a habit. So think about this. For me, my initial habit was get that cup of coffee.
Right.
So now I made the coffee my reward for doing my exercises. So unless I do the exercises, I can't have the coffee. But then when I do the exercise and get the coffee, I feel rewarded by the coffee.
Right. And then you're more likely to keep that ritual up.
Yeah. So what I would say is if you all want to create healthy habits that increase your longevity, add years to your life, pick a habit and instill it using the 3 R's over the next 3 months. 3 R's over the next 3 months. And then every 3 months, you can add a new habit. So let's say one habit might be, I want to read for 30 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. Well, when are you going to do that? Because what's going to happen is you're going to go through the whole day. You're going to put your head on your pillow at night and you'll be like, oh, I forgot to read today. I'll do it tomorrow because no one reminded you and nothing reminded you. So you create a reminder. So that reminder has to be something that you can't ignore. So it could be an alarm on your phone where you schedule it, you set an alarm goes off, you grab your book and read. Or it could be something you already do. So for example, you brush your teeth, right? So put the book you want to read next to your toothbrush. And you go, okay, I'm not going to brush my teeth until I read for 30 minutes. Then you read, then you brush your teeth. But that's the reminder. And it has to be a ritual where you do it in the same place, same time, same way. And then what's the reward, right? So it could be a cup of coffee again. I don't know. Now, in the article, the cardiologist recommends following a largely Mediterranean diet, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, olive oil, seafood, and poultry. Avoid ultra-processed foods, which tend to contain added sugars, salt, artificial sweeteners, emulsifiers, and other additives that have been linked to poor health.
We need to get rid of seed oils altogether. There really should only be 3 oils that you're cooking with at any given time.
Right.
And that's coconut oil,
Yep.
Tallow, beef tallow, and olive oil. But olive oil, you really should not be cooking at high temperatures because it has a much lower smoke point. Coconut oil has a much higher smoke point, as does tallow.
Yep.
And so
because both are solid at room temperature.
right. And basically what that means is when we heat up that oil, it's not going to become dangerous to the body. But oils that have a low smoke point, just even a little bit of heat, and each one has its threshold. So you can research those and look those up.
Yep.
But if you heat it over a certain temperature, then it's going to begin to break down. It becomes more toxic to the body. And so all of those nasty, ugly oils that are on the market that you don't even want to know how they are produced, just take those out. Don't use them anymore. It's not worth it. So, and things like tallow taste so much better. And coconut oil. I do my popcorn in coconut oil on the stove.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when they change the food pyramid, I'm sure it's in the article you're presenting, they reintroduce saturated fats as a good thing.
Yeah, that's not in here.
It's in one of these.
Oh, it's in yours.
Maybe. We have one about red meat. Anyways, the guy Topol is 71 years old, and he says he never eats red meat.
Interesting.
So that's why I wanted to talk about red meat. His breakfast is non-fat Greek yogurt, blueberries and strawberries, and low-sugar granola on top. For lunch, he eats nuts. Just nuts.
Well, I mean, it's hard for us to fathom because in the U.S., as you know, our portions are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the amount of food that we eat is really ridiculous. I think that Now, if you're bodybuilding, you're doing something very specific.
Yeah, you're tracking it and measuring it.
Right. Then yes, there could be a need for a greater amount of protein and a greater amount of like food in general. But the reality is for most people who do, a light to moderate workout a few times a week, who are at their normal weight that
you
they
don't
want to
even
be
need that
at,
much protein.
you don't need much.
Yeah.
You literally, I mean, I will tell you when I felt the best, I would say food wise is when I was just eating as I felt like I needed to.
Yeah.
And we it's referred to as like intuitive eating, where you literally listen to your body and you give it what it needs. Now you can't do that and go through the day and then like pick up potato chips or, pick up regular refined bread and things like that. It's not going to work. But if you're grabbing a handful of nuts and an apple, or a handful of nuts and a spinach salad, and you want to throw a little bit of protein, or you don't need that much.
Yeah.
Our bodies are really efficient. And as long as you're putting good stuff in, really the amount is probably considerably less than what we see on most plates.
I had a dog that lived to be 18 years old, and
Quirky.
we fed her very little.
Yeah. We have some friends that are pregnant, and they love their dog. Everybody does. And I'm like, just be prepared, because your dog is gonna almost be a nuisance for a little while while you're onboarding the baby. So you may even forget to feed it. That happens.
All right, and the guy says he has a giant salad for dinner, like giant. It's monstrous. Puts like all kinds of stuff on it: salmon, chicken, cheeses, corn.
I'm going to have a salad today.
Big salad. Remember the really Seinfeld episode, The Big Salad?
No.
It's very funny. They know. I bet you that you guys know the episode of The Big Salad.
Well, they are giggling with you.
Yeah. It says, so he's very rigorous about hydration because he used to have kidney stones. And he says you can eat things that cause kidney stones, like the nuts. A lot of nuts can cause kidney stones because they have oxalates in them. But he says if you drink a ton of water, you can avoid that. So make sure you do that. Also, think about this. If you want to be healthy, water goes in pure, but it doesn't come out pure. So where does it get the impurities? Kidneys. From your body, right?
Yeah.
Whatever impurities are in here, it grabs those and takes them out. So the more it goes in, the more comes out. And the healthier you are. So just water can be your greatest diet drug.
It's actually one of the things that I think most people don't drink enough of anyway, right? Because
forget GLP-1, you need H2O.
Yeah. I mean, that in and of itself, I know when I drink my almost gallon of water a day, because that's really where we should be, most of us.
Yeah. I do a gallon and a half.
Yeah. I try to get a gallon in, and it is really, really hard some days. But on the days that I get that, the next day, there's less bloating, there's less inflammation. Like my body just feels tighter. It's so amazing. I
drink half a gallon before 7 a.m. most often. And then like a ton during my workout.
Yeah.
So that's why like in the mornings, I'm in the bathroom every 40 minutes.
Well, I'm doing a purification cleanse right now. And the base of all of my shakes is water. So thank goodness I get to count that.
Yeah.
Because I'm drinking like 4 shakes a day.
It's all fluids. Shake, shake, shake. What else did he say? I think that's all he had to say about longevity. He likes dried fruits and Trader Joe's lemon cookies for dessert. He does eat ice cream, but he found that if he eats ice creams with a lot of additives, it's not good. So you need that like natural ice cream.
Well, and just know that there's very few of those on the shelf.
Oh, I know.
So right now it's a really big problem in our food industries that they are using fillers, chemicals, let's just call them what they are, chemicals to make there's a pretty well-known Mexican fast food place everywhere, right? And it's south of the border. Used to be there. Anyway, that particular company, they can't even call their taco meat beef. They can't call it beef because there's not enough beef in it to be called that.
Yes.
So they have to call it like taco filler or taco meat or something like that, but they can't. It has a chemical in it that helps reduce caking. It like grows it a little. It's horrible.
Did you see the video I sent you on how they make soup noodles?
Oh yeah, I had seen that. Yeah.
Did you see the one about the oats?
Yes, I did see that too.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the ice cream, if you go into the freezer section and you look at the vast majority of the products on the shelf, it will either say frozen dessert, I think is what it is, or frozen dairy dessert. But there's not enough dairy in it for them to call it ice cream. So they cannot call it ice cream.
They can't use the word cream.
So there's only a few brands that actually have that still use.
If you get an ice cream and it looks like ice cream, but on the packaging it doesn't say ice cream, don't get it.
It says frozen dairy dessert. I'm pretty sure is what it says.
Whatever it says. If it doesn't say ice cream,
yes,
don't get it.
But you do not want
If it says ice cream, then read the ingredients to make sure you're okay with all of it.
Yes.
Because there are some good ice creams out there.
There are.
You can make your own if you want. And then he talked about like sometimes people think they get a smoothie and it's healthy, but there are some smoothies out there that are over 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you're adding tons of fruit and sweeteners and syrups and things like that, that's where you're going to be. And not to mention whatever the base is.
2 pumps of this and 3 pumps of that. And he talks
Exactly.
about alcohol should be very limited. I think he said one of his patients said, he was talking to his patient. His patient's wife said, can he continue to drink in moderation? And he was about to say yes, but he goes, well, how much is moderation? She said, well, he drinks 6 beers and 2 shots of tequila every night.
That's not moderate.
And so he laughed because he thought they were joking. This sounds like a joke, right? And they were like, it's not a joke. Like, what would it be if it wasn't in moderation? So this article says, how much red meat should you eat? We asked 3 top nutrition experts. That bugs me a lot because...
Which part of it?
Nutrition expert.
Oh.
So anyways, I mean...
There's very few of those, really.
I think you should talk to like a PhD in human physiology or a PhD in cell biology.
Like, I don't want to take away from, like, there's definitely it depends on where they get their education, right? It depends on what their background is.
The people they talk to are fairly credible. And they, anyways, let me get into it. It says the longstanding advice to cut back on red meat was turned on its head when the Department of Health and Human Services and the Agriculture Department issued new dietary guidelines last week. The guidelines advised people to eat a variety of protein-rich plant and animal foods, including red meat. They also included other foods high in saturated fat, such as full-fat dairy products, butter, and beef tallow, a sharp deviation from decades of previous recommendations.
Fat is good.
So they asked 3 top nutrition experts for their advice. They said that you should focus on eating an overall healthy diet with an emphasis on things such as fresh fruits and vegetables, beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, whole grains, seafood, and olive oil. They applauded the new dietary guidelines for stating explicitly for the first time that Americans should eat real food and avoid highly processed packaged foods and beverages laden with sugar, sodium, artificial sweeteners, and other additives. So far, I am not disagreeing with anything they're saying.
Yeah, I'm just always amazed at where the health of our country has gone, and that it's literally the whole purpose has been to line pockets, and not just line the pockets of the food industries, but then to line the pockets of the major medical industry.
Why don't we
and
line
big
the
pharma.
pockets of farmers and ranchers
I
and these
know.
guys who bust their tail
Yes.
from dawn to dusk every single day to
Yes.
feed our country? They're the people we should line the pockets of.
Like I read this amazing article. There was a video on it as well, and it was this guy who he went and ended up buying this farm. There's a lot to the story, but he bought this basically this orchard. And I guess historically, like in the maybe early 1900s, maybe even before that, there's this ancient like grafting process that used to be done to ensure that a community had a variety of fruits. And they, in the farming industry, like the big farming industry, right? Not our small farmers who are doing the work, but the food industries basically decided, well, we're going to have like this kind of apple come from this region and this kind of apple come from this region.
Interesting.
And they stopped a lot of that. And so this guy has like recreated this ancient grafting like technology. And so he has a tree that he has grafted together that actually produces, I want to say it's like 10 to 15 different kinds of fruit on the same tree, people.
That's like Frankenstein.
It is the coolest thing. It is so absolutely beautiful to see the blooms come in, throughout. It looks like a beautiful cherry tree. But then, you'll have maybe a couple different types of apples. You'll have pears. You'll have all of these different like varieties that then grow and produce throughout multiple seasons. It's not just like the spring. You'll get different fruits at different times. And I'm like, and he sells these. So you can like buy these and then bring them and plant them and use them for your own families.
That's
He's like,
cool.
this is what used to be done.
Yeah.
And I think that is so cool. Like I so want a couple.
You get one tree, you get 17 different fruits.
Right? Is that not the coolest thing?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I say that, I guess, to say it's disheartening to even hear that we used to do these magnificent things to feed our communities well. And because of money, we got rid of all that. It's almost a lost, technology basically, or knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm glad somebody is trying to bring those things back.
Yeah, for sure. So, we talked about sweet. Okay. It says, and if you're eating a healthy diet, the expert said, then it's generally fine to have an occasional serving of red meat or full-fat dairy, or to use a little butter or beef tallow from time to time. But if you include full-fat dairy in your diet, you should prioritize plain yogurt, which is a fermented food that contains health-promoting bacteria like probiotics. So far, not too bad, except, personally, I eat red meat twice a week.
Yeah.
And I don't see an issue with it. As long as you're not eating it with some kind of a starch. I think the starch combined with the red meat is what leads to inflammatory processes and so on. So I do think red meat should be eaten with more vegetables.
Agreed.
Have your steak with steamed vegetables, Brussels sprouts, asparagus.
Yeah, and put some fermented food into your diet every day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fermentation is it just holds such amazing bacteria. And it's another thing that we used to do all the time, right? People had to pickle, right, and ferment their food. They had to do it,
right,
because they didn't have refrigerators at one point.
Yeah,
and so these are all like lost, like knowledge sets or skill sets. The vast majority of people could not can if they had to.
That's right.
Right. Thank goodness there's YouTube videos. But I think what we're going to probably see in the next 5 to 10 years is people kind of going back to some of those original things. I mean, people right now are more interested in getting farmettes and trying to be able to grow some of their own. We see a huge increase in unique kinds of homes that have like greenhouse style homes. I think we're going to start seeing, and it's helping that we have right now people in leadership who are pushing healthier eating and these changes.
Right.
And I hope that it's kind of showing people, a different way to think about their food.
Yeah, I'm enjoying all those changes. I'm enjoying the rhetoric. I'm enjoying the changes. I'm enjoying the focus against some of these things that we've kept saying they're bad for you, and no one's now. We're going to get into one thing that's going to be a little funny if we get to it. We told everybody we would talk about ginger, The most significant change to the dietary guideline is the recommendation that Americans avoid potato chips, candy, sweetened beverages, breakfast cereals, and other highly processed foods made with refined grains, added sugars, artificial sweeteners, and other additives. So I like that. And by the way, the expert that says this is Daryush Mozaffarian, which seems to be an Iranian guy. He was a cardiologist and director of Tufts University's Food is Medicine Institute.
Oh, and by the way, I was wrong. It was a tree that can bear up to 40 different types of fruit.
40.
Which is actually more impressive.
Sounds like the tree of good and evil.
I think it's just good.
There's no evil fruit on that one. Safe to eat. You're not going to get kicked out. The problem with red meat isn't that it contains a lot of saturated fat, Mozaffarian said, but that it has other carcinogenic and pro-inflammatory compounds that may increase your likelihood of developing cancer and type 2 diabetes. He recommended that people eat no more than 1 serving a week of steak, veal, lamb, pork, ground beef, or other red meats. And he said that processed meats such as bacon, hot dog, sausage, salami, and deli meats should either be avoided altogether or viewed as an occasional treat.
Well, we know hot dogs actually creates an 800% increase in the chance of leukemia in children. So, and that's with like 12 hot dogs a month.
That's a lot of hot dogs in a month.
Right. But
it's 3 a week. It's 3 a week for 4 weeks.
How many people's kids go to school every day and have a hot dog because it's on the menu every single day?
Yeah, they probably eat more than 3 a week.
I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. So,
as for full fat dairy, so anyways, he said red meat can be carcinogenic and pro-inflammatory. I think red meat can be that if you mix it with the wrong things or you put the wrong things on top of it.
Well, what we do know is there are a lot of health benefits when it comes to red meat. Red meat also can be acidic to the body.
Yeah.
So if you are eating red meat, you need to do other things to combat that.
Yeah.
And that's easy to do.
Right.
So
have some ginger with it.
Right.
And
don't eat it every day.
And then you know how it's sourced is another one because a lot of commercial red meats have been injected with testosterone.
Yes.
So that
and antibiotics.
That digest the testosterone, antibiotics, and then some of those cows are fed weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cause for concern when it comes to red meat also. But then that's concern for chicken and fish too.
Well, chicken is naturally high in estrogen, so women have to be cautious of not eating too much chicken.
The chicken
and that's
get
what's pushed on
injected
us.
with estrogen
on top of it,
which increases that's how they get bigger.
Right.
That's how you get a giant chicken breast. We're like, how big was the chicken if the chicken breast is that big?
Yeah.
Then also they feed them soy, which also increases estrogen.
Yes.
So you're like, so you can either take the testosterone enriched beef or the estrogen enriched chicken.
Yeah.
Or you can go organic and get farm raised. You know, when you get fish, you need to ask, was this fish happy when they caught him? I want the fish not to have been stressed during its passing. Was his family around him when he died?
That might be more stressful.
When they gutted him. Well, catch your own fish.
Exactly.
The problem with red meat isn't that... Oh, I read this already. As for full-fat dairy, it's fine to have up to 3 servings a day. But ideally, you should prioritize fermented dairy foods such as plain yogurt, kefir, and some cheeses, Mozaffarian said. As a cardiologist who entered the field studying dietary fats, I can tell you that dietary fats are not harmful. He added, there's plenty of evidence for the health benefits of dairy.
Yeah.
So that's why I like this guy, because especially, saturated fat is very anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
Beef tallow is very anti-inflammatory. In fact, butter made right is actually anti-inflammatory.
Right.
You put butter on bread. First off, bread that has bromide in it is terrible for you, and you add butter to it, now it's a recipe for
I've been
disaster.
talking recently because I have several acquaintances that are are milling their own flour.
Yeah, nice.
And they're like, my kids stay full. Like I'll make them milled flour for pancakes, and I'll make them pancakes, and they're good until like 1:00, and they just start getting hungry.
Wow.
Because they have all of these great like nutrients,
Right.
And they're like, you eat something made from regular run of the mill flour, even if it's organic,
right?
It doesn't even taste, it just tastes like sugar because.
Well, like you think about people who put butter in their coffee, bulletproof coffee.
Yeah, it's great.
Inflammation goes down. They stay full until like 1 p.m. when they eat it early in the morning, drink it early in the morning. And then, but when you put butter on like things like rice and bread and potato, not so healthy.
Correct.
But you take healthy organic butter and you melt it over steamed vegetables. Don't put the butter in
the microwave.
Once you have the steamed vegetables, then you put some butter on it to melt with some salt and pepper. That's actually going to be very, very good.
Yep.
And it gives you that savory texture and feeling and all of that. So the study found, so there's a study that one of the experts talked about, a study found that people who ate mostly minimally processed plant foods such as nuts, beans, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and olive oil, along with modest amounts of meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, had lower rates of premature death from heart disease, cancer, and other chronic diseases.
I think one thing that we need to recognize, and I don't think they say why, but one of the reasons why you want to limit some of those heavier like food sources like beef or chicken or any of that is because it is such a digestive load on the body.
Mm-hmm.
And phase 2 of detoxification happens in the liver, right? And so, but there's only a certain number of processes the liver can, it's not like the liver can do unlimited number of processes. It's not a computer, right? So it can't just keep all of these things happening at once. So one thing that gets pushed back to the kind of the back of the line is detoxification. So if your liver is busy with all of these other processes, it doesn't always get to detox the body. So if we're limiting some of these, if we're limiting the processed food, if we're limiting some of the red meat and not eating it 3 times a day, every day, then your body will have more time to do things like detox the body.
Correct.
So it really is, it's common sense if you start thinking about it. If you know what these foods do for the body and to the body, and you know how the body processes it, and you know how the body works, then it all begins to make sense. You're like, oh, okay, I can get my nutrients, I can get my protein from small amounts of this throughout the day. And then I can have a little bit of this and the body can handle it. It can process it. I can get all the great things from it, but I'm still going to allow the body to detox. Like, just understand how the body works. And I think that helps you make good decisions.
I agree. So let's do one more. Do you want to do yours? Or we told them we'd talk about ginger.
You better talk about ginger.
Not Marianne, just ginger.
Yes.
Sean, did you watch an episode of Gilligan's Island between last week? No? Okay.
He said he's not going to.
Not going to? All right. All right. Well, I wonder how many of our audience knows who Marianne and Ginger are. We'll sing the song later, maybe. This article is titled "The Science Behind an Herbal Remedy That Has Worked for Thousands of Years." Ginger, available at almost any grocery store and often used as a spice, has properties that can relieve mild to moderate nausea, experts and studies say.
Oh, it's more than that.
Personal experience, I say it's not mild to moderate nausea. I have had people sick as a dog. They can't stop throwing up. We gave them ginger, and it was like, it's like they smoked some marijuana.
Actually,
it clears them.
It disinfects the digestive tract.
It does. And they don't say that in here per se, because they even say it doesn't seem to work with viral and food poisoning, things like that,
yes,
which I think it does.
It does. Food poisoning is not viral. Food poisoning is bacterial.
Well, they said viral or bacterial.
Right, but it is bacterial, and
anyways,
it does work.
For more than 2,500 years, ginger has been used for its medicinal properties. Where did they come up with the number 2,500? anyways, maybe that's the earliest medical textbook they found.
Right.
It was 2,500 years ago. Ginger is still often recommended as a way to ease stomach upset. It has properties that can relieve mild to moderate nausea, experts and studies say. However, it works better for some types of stomach trouble than others, and it matters how you take it.
Did they say it's been used for over 2,500 years?
Yeah.
It's actually 3,000 to 5,000 years.
Is that Chat GPT telling you that?
And Chat is always
Can we
right.
trust it? It was lying about my lottery ticket numbers. Okay, so here's how it works. Ginger can be eaten raw or cooked, steeped in tea, or taken as lozenges, gummies, or chews. But when taken for medicinal purposes, this expert says, he advises his patients to take ginger root powder in capsule form, which offers more consistent dosing than most other variations to ease symptoms of nausea, indigestion, and other symptoms. I think that's where the problem is. Like, you really have to measure how much ginger you're eating. It's just ginger.
And it's
Chop
actually,
it up, chew it, and swallow it.
And I don't know why I was looking at ginger a few weeks back, but the other thing that is not great, and why I disagree with him wholeheartedly on two things. Number one, when you're doing a powder, it's actually been processed.
Exactly.
It's been heated.
Exactly.
It's changed. And while there are some benefits to heating ginger, and I can go through some of those with you,
Yeah.
the reality is that getting something in its purest original form,
for sure.
straight from a plant, straight from the ground, straight just like God intended it.
The root.
There is nothing better than that.
Go buy it from the grocery stores, get a root, peel it, cut it into little cubes or whatever, and chew it. It'll burn your mouth, but it's fine. Chew it, swallow it.
Yeah, it's just a little sharp.
Now, the
but
pickled ginger that you get at sushi restaurants, that's not too bad either.
Yeah,
that seems to work.
That's okay
because you took that during your morning sickness.
Yeah, again, we're talking about like that's getting into like the fermentation, part of it, which has its own, types of benefits as well. But use it fresh. What I do not recommend, depending on why you're using it, is to use it in like a form where it's sweetened, because one of the great things about ginger is that, like we said, it's an antimicrobial, right? It gets rid of bacteria. But what are you doing when you put sugar in something? What does bacteria need to survive and grow?
You feed the bacteria.
Sugar. So you're kind of like feeding the bacteria and trying to get rid of it at the same time, which is a bit of a conundrum.
And all that. So they talk about that a little bit in the article. It says, here's why it works. Ginger contains compounds such as gingerol, shogaol, and zingerone that act as receptors in our gut and nerves that send signals to our central nervous system. One receptor, 5-HT3, regulates nausea, while another, TRPV1, triggers pain signals. By affecting these receptors, ginger may help ease nausea and discomfort, the expert says.
It also has volatile oils, which is actually the fourth. And that's what has the antimicrobial and the circulatory effects. The shogaols that he's talking about only form when ginger is dried or heated. And it does have a stronger anti-inflammatory effect, but it's not when it's just fresh. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they did enough research on this, or maybe they talked to the wrong expert, but it says ginger has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which may help protect against gastrointestinal irritation. In 2025, literature review on the pharmacological effect of ginger, Podell and his colleagues found that ginger reduced nausea, particularly nausea related to pregnancy, but did not consistently relieve vomiting. Ginger also showed other potential benefits, such as helping to reduce inflammation, oxidative stress, and blood glucose levels. Additionally, some studies show that ginger may help with nausea and vomiting caused by chemotherapy, particularly when combined with anti-nausea medications. Combine it with anti-nausea medication. It may help ease nausea after surgery, though findings are mixed on postoperative vomiting. It may also help with nausea related to migraine pain.
By the way, I thought this was interesting. Ginger acts similarly, but more gently to as NSAIDs.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that.
So it's and it does so by inhibiting inflammatory pathways. So it's helpful for joint pain, arthritis, muscle soreness, chronic low-grade inflammation,
yeah, I think it acts
menstrual
like a
cramps.
COX inhibitor. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it works very similar to fish oil. Fish oil does the same thing.
yeah, and it says that you can people who use it regularly may notice reduced stiffness and pain when it's taken consistently, which is really
It says
impressive.
there isn't enough data to suggest that ginger can curb nausea related to stomach viruses, hangovers, or chronic acid reflux. And I go, that's probably because you're just using the powder and not actual ginger root.
My research says that ginger has antiviral properties as well as antibacterial effects.
See, I believe that. And I've seen that. I've seen it in practice.
Same.
So the amount of ginger used in studies to treat nausea varies from 500 to 1,500 milligrams divided throughout the day with 1 to 3 grams daily at the upper end. More than that, and it may worsen reflux. I don't know. Heartburn and other gastrointestinal symptoms. They're saying if you take too much, it can worsen that. I've never seen that.
And then you also have to ask what's too much.
Well, that's what he says. It's more than 3 grams a day.
Mm.
Which is, I guess they're still talking about the powder, which I really don't know how they create that powder.
Yeah, I would be.
But if you're eating the root, I don't think you can overdo it. I literally had people who would like take a little piece every half hour throughout the entire day, and it kept them okay while they battled something.
Right. We also don't know what else they're putting in those capsules.
Yeah, he just says take 500 milligrams twice a day.
Yeah, but I just know that there are fillers, there are other things often that gets mixed in, and so it's really hard to know about purity.
I'm not a fan of that. It says if you like the taste, fresh ginger root works well in hot tea. Just boil freshly grated or sliced ginger in a pot of water and let it steep for at least 10 minutes. Then strain out the ginger, add a tea bag or loose tea leaves. And if you'd like honey and lemon, I think honey's not a bad idea because honey doesn't act like sugar.
No.
Foreman cautioned against using store-bought ginger tea drinks as they often contain sweeteners and other ingredients. Don't waste your time with most ginger ales. Foreman said many contain ingredients such as high fructose corn syrup and very little ginger. I don't even have any ginger. Sometimes using artificial ginger flavoring. Ginger beers, which are generally non-alcoholic despite the name, can sometimes contain more ginger than soda, but the amount can vary. So yeah, don't bother with ginger ale for sure. I think we should maybe sometime do a podcast on the benefits of honey or even apple cider vinegar.
Oh, that could be a real practical application one too, because there are so many great home remedies that you can use using honey. I just love it.
So this is funny. Although ginger is generally considered safe and is almost universally well tolerated, it can lower blood sugar and impair blood platelet function when taken regularly at high doses. So who's going to take it regularly? I thought you can take it when you eat sushi a little bit, and then take it when you have nausea. But I don't think you need to take it every single day.
Right.
Anyways, Foreman said that, and if you have diabetes or take blood thinners, talk to your doctor before taking ginger supplements. And you know what I would say is, doctors, I don't think know that very well. I would talk to a pharmacist. Pharmacists understand the drugs you're on.
Correct.
And what can interfere with it and what not. So just go to a pharmacy, say, can I talk to the pharmacist? And just ask them. And if they don't know, they'll probably know how to get you the information.
Now, here is one thing. I had heard this in the last few weeks too, and wanted to do some additional research on it. This was fascinating. I was listening to this guy who he helps people with a lot of chronic, like terminal type of illness, and his mom got cancer. And the doctors were like, oh, she's at an age, it's the treatment's going to be worse than the cancer itself. So just take her home and watch her die. And he's like, cancer. He goes, I eat this stuff for breakfast. So he took her, put her on an immunotherapy, changed her entire diet, gave her very specific foods. Ginger was one of them because the compounds in ginger have been found to kill the T cells of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
People, food in its original form is always ideal. Like
Right.
there are so many benefits to all the herbs that you keep in your pantry. And we're talking cinnamon and, and ginger and turmeric. And like these are things that can revolutionize, if done in the right form, your health.
We lost our co-host, so you get me for the rest of the podcast. Brandi had to step out because she has a class she has to be in, and I guess I was too long-winded and talked a little too much. But I do want to finish the article for you. And right here it says, additionally, there's limited clinical data on the use of ginger in young children. So before giving it to your child as a daily supplement, consult a pediatrician, Paula said. Podell, the expert, said. So first off, I don't think ginger should be a daily supplement. I don't see that being a need. So I don't know why they would say ginger as a daily supplement. I think it'll help with stomach upset or whatever, but I don't think you need to take it every single day. Secondly, they clearly said earlier that high fructose corn syrup in sodas like ginger ale are worse for kids than the ginger. But you don't have to talk to your doctor to give your kids soda. But they want you to talk to a doctor before you give your kids ginger. I don't understand that. But because it says it and because, people like to sue or whatever, be cautious. But I think if you're not using it as a daily supplement, you use it when you need it. Use the natural form. You get the actual root. You cut it up. You peel it. You have your kid chew it, or you can use a grater and grind it and put it in like seltzer water or any kind of carbonated water. You can they can drink it or make the tea with it or whatever. But I don't think there's a fear of kids with ginger. But I guess they have to say that because they all have attorneys and people get sued all the time. What else you should know about ginger is that there are various over-the-counter medications to treat nausea and vomiting, such as dimenhydrinate, which is Dramamine, which is commonly used to combat motion sickness, and bismuth subsalicylate, which is Pepto-Bismol, which can help with nausea, indigestion, diarrhea, often related to stomach bugs. But if you prefer natural remedies, there's other things than ginger, like peppermint oil, which may relieve gastrointestinal discomfort and symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. Some research suggests that enteric-coated peppermint oil capsules may reduce abdominal pain, bloating, and gas. In studies, peppermint oil appears safe for most people, but there isn't much research on its medicinal use in women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, so consult your doctor before taking it. Two other things. One is vitamin B6 may help with morning sickness, nausea, and vomiting related to pregnancy. In some studies, doses have ranged from 10 milligrams to 25 milligrams, taken up to 3 times per day. The last one is chamomile tea. I'm sure you've heard of this. This is a great soothing tea, may help ease an upset stomach. A 2025 review found that chamomile was associated with reductions in sores and discomfort in the mucous membrane lining the digestive tract, suggesting it may have anti-inflammatory properties. Generally, anything natural is always going to be better than the drug version. And when it comes to nausea, I really think ginger is one of the most powerful things you can do, and there doesn't seem to be any harm to it. So today we got to talk about longevity, how to increase your lifespan, add years to your life. We talked about red meat because it got added back to the food guidelines by the Health and Human Services. And we've talked about ginger. So hopefully that was beneficial to you. We're grateful that you joined us. If this was beneficial, please share, like, subscribe. And if you want us to talk about something specific, let us know. I do think we should talk a little bit about honey because it's underrated and not enough people use honey for its health and wellness properties. So maybe we'll do that sometime. We also still need to do Brandi's interview at some point, and she's been dodging it. So maybe if you guys comment, and I can say this since she's not here, you guys start commenting and saying, we really need Brandi's life story, maybe she'll agree to do it. But right now she's a little hesitant because she's worried that she'll cry too much or get emotional. But I think that'll be good for her, and it'll be good for all of you guys to hear it too. So encourage her. Anyways, take care. God bless you, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.